Hello and welcome back to Heroic 3D Art Gaming. It's Theme Park Thursday and we are back at Dragon's Heart Zoo in Planet Zoo. Designing habitats, managing wildlife, and building something wild. Let's be creative. So in the last episode we built these the habitat for the Komodo dragon and the exhibits around it, the staff facilities, and we built we've put in place the bat exhibits. This episode, that's what we're going to be focusing on, is building these up, making them look nice. My idea is to make them look like a cave, or at least as much of a cave as I possibly can. But here I'm just choosing my bits and pieces that's going to go into the zoo, into the enclosure, or a better way to put it, around the enclosure. I don't want any of these rocks being like sticking into the enclosure. But here I'm just gonna go ahead and grab some bats and put them into the enclosure so that I've got something to work with in terms of seeing where I'm going with it. Yeah, like I could have done it with it being black, but I want the ability to see it, without going inside the enclosure and messing around too much. I just wanted to have something to work with. So just speeding things up a little bit here in video production, just so we're not stood around too long. Um, a lot, there's a lot of placing and deleting in this while I try and find the perfect layout. Trying to find the perfect rock for it, and to me, this was the hardest part: was finding the perfect rock or perfect look of the rock to uh, use at my disposal. Because I didn't want anything to look too uniformal. I didn't want anything to look too how do I put it? Too repetitive. But you know, as you can see here, every time I place one, I rotate, and yeah, I'm not getting the result that I wanted. But it was something I had to stick with because there was nothing better. So, but yeah, we're just throwing any old rock onto the thing, just trying to find something that looks good, or something I can work with. So by here, I'm just putting the top of it together. Again, I'm trying to make it look as random as possible. And I placed these longer rocks down just so that so I could help myself with different alignment, because as you can see, when you go to a certain face of a rock with another rock, it aligns it quite weirdly, and I kind of like that idea. So that's where I went with it. So now I'm just connecting paths and mapping out things how I want it to look. I was going to go for a curved path, but then I couldn't get like the third part of the path to connect as I wanted it to. So I just went ahead and kept it as the straight paths. I went on then to try and make a cave tunnel, a rocky tunnel, and I thought it was a great idea, but then I didn't like it because again, it's too repetitive. So I tried this as well, a little brick, and again, I didn't like it. Eventually, I decided to just go ahead and use dry stone walls. So yeah, here I am trying to find the perfect piece of construction wall that I could use to complete my um, building or my exhibit. It annoys me that the the shift and select misses out some stuff. Like what's annoying about it is if I was to select everything in an enclosure whilst I'm looking at it from the side, you can guarantee I'm going to select every single tree, every single building, and every single piece in view. But when you're up close, bird's eye, you select everything but what you want to select. So yeah, I found what it was I wanted to do, and I went ahead and finished off this end by here. Just enclosed that area because I don't want any sunlight to be getting into this exhibit. I want it all to be pitch black, or as black as I possibly can get it. So, but there I was just, just filling in those gaps and again ensuring that there's no rocks, no sunlight getting into it. The only type of light I wanted in this was a red light, to act as like an infrared. which is what I'm doing by here. Later, I decided that I didn't like it and added different lights to it. Yeah, we can't have those little pieces poking out. The sunlight is the enemy. So I went ahead. So that I'm not redoing the whole thing all over again, I just select absolutely everything and duplicate it over. Connect up the paths. So by here, I decided that I wanted to have a guest area by here. Shops, uh, benches, and stuff like that. Somewhere you can sit and, just get your fill in. If you're hungry, this is the spot to go. So that's our guest facilities in place. Now it's finding a screen so I can advertise other stuff. So advertise the entrance, for instance, or something further out into the park. Just that kind of stuff. So now we just put it in the picnic tables and the bins and stuff like that. Just to keep this area tidy. We don't want anyone making a mess of it. Put a donation box down below. Because you just know, I notice. I know the game says to put donation boxes by a spot where people are going to be most educated, but I've learned that that's not necessarily the case. Because I've had entrances where there's nothing there, no animals whatsoever, or nothing near that facility, and I'm still getting donations there, and I'm getting a huge chunk of donations. So now I put donation boxes where there's, you know, where people are going to get most educated, but I put them at the entrance as well and near guest facilities because people do donate wherever they are, or at least that's what happens for me anyway. So here we're just placing the roof on. Again, this was a lot of trial and error because I wanted the pieces to fit in a certain way. So, like, where the roof is coming from the bat cave, I wanted that to be how do I put it? I wanted it to intersect with pieces, but unfortunately, that was not the case. Had to put this solar panel down for extra coverage for the guest facilities. Um, as long as you don't fully cover it, it still works as a solar panel. So while I've got it by here, but where it is now, and I've put construction pieces by there, as long as I do not cover that with anything, put a roof over the top of it, it will work perfectly fine. So I'm just filling in the little gaps by here, make it look nice. And we're putting the final roof on. We'll just close that piece up. Add in some more triangle pieces. And by here I put just a wooden door from the door section on here. So I figured these were a really nice feature for the inside of the cave wall ceiling. Um, I can't remember what I couldn't remember what they were called whilst I was putting them in, but they're called stalactites or stalactites, because these are you would see these in caves, wouldn't you? Like, I can't remember exactly how they are formed. I know it's like something to do with water. Um, whilst water is dripping down, the sediment of the rock is collecting, and it just forms the spikes. So yeah, I felt that was a really good idea to add to the realism of a cave. So here I'm planning to put in. I can't remember the name of them. You'll see them on the screen. They're the pigs with the skull with the tusks that keep on growing into their brain. The North Sulawesi or something like that. That's the name of them. The Sulawesi North Sulawesi Babirusa. I figured they were quite a nice feature to add. Mainly because I don't see a lot of people when I'm watching YouTubers. I don't see a lot of people using these pigs. But yeah, one really sad fact about these pigs is their tusks. Uh, Out in the wild, these pigs could never live a long lifespan because for the males at least, these tusks will continue to keep on growing and growing and growing until they pierce through the skull and end up killing the brain, which is quite unfortunate. You know, thing is, if you believe in God, you have to believe that God designed this pig to die such a horrible death. Because I can't imagine that being pleasant in any single way whatsoever. Having your tusks pierce your skull, but it's not doing it in like a couple of seconds or a couple of minutes. It's doing it throughout time, doing it really slowly. So you're getting the slow piercing pain of this tusk going through your skin, and then you got the slow pain of it, wedging itself through your skull, and then finally going through your brain. I mean, I think I would rather get burnt alive. And I absolutely fear being burnt alive. But if being burnt alive is quicker than having that tusk grow through your head, then, I mean, come on. So here I'm working on the wall. That's gonna be going around the enclosure, making sure that my guests do not bother my poor pigs. I'm just trying to find the perfect way to ensure that this enclosure looks nice. So I ended up going with these fence posts. And then again, it was trying to find something that I was going to use for those posts. And I didn't want to use these European posts anymore. Although I felt like I was compelled to do so because I couldn't think of anything else that would have gone there. And then I remembered that this game had a beautiful feature called rope. Although I did like sort of like this look as well. But I figured I've already put the metal posts there. I could come back to it if I needed to. I was looking for some sort of metal bar that would do what I needed it to, but yeah, I couldn't find anything, so I just went with the rope. We're just lining everything up, make sure that it fits perfectly, and we duplicate it, I think, if I remember correctly. No? Okay. And then we just duplicate the whole wall and, just follow the curvature. And then I had to go off grid, place, off grid, place, off grid, place. It was annoying. So yeah, when I gotta do things like this, it's such a pain. I would much rather make it square, but I didn't want all my enclosures to be square. So now it was about, how am I gonna fill this gap in? I don't know why I was looking at the triangle pieces. Yeah, I think, yeah, I went with this. Yeah, see, that filled the gap perfectly. So, yeah, I really ended up really liking this enclosure. I like that, like, I put some actual thought process into this. Like, you know, um, adding the hard shelter as part of the bat caves. So that was the roof put onto the hard shelter. And now we move on to making the pigs happy. No, sorry. I move on to making a spot by here. It's kind of like a second hard shelter, but it's also the area where the staff's going to enter the enclosure to feed, clean, and just do all the necessary stuff for the animals. So yeah, now we're just making the pigs happy. Or at least making the enclosure nice for when they are in the enclosure. Cardboard boxes. These cardboard boxes actually annoy me for when you're putting them in for reptiles, at least. Because personally, I would never, ever put anything like a cardboard box, a rubber duck, or a ball in with a crocodile or a Komodo dragon. Because if they ate it, it's a very expensive vet bill. But I get it with these animals, if they did eat it, it could probably process it and pass it through. But yeah, no. With the reptiles, they need to remove the certain toys because reptiles don't have toys. The only toys reptiles have is rocks, logs, and things like that. You can put in things like where they have to move something around to try and get a treat out of the thing as an enrichment. But plastic and rubber and stuff like that, they can't pass it. So if they ate it, it's either a death sentence or an expensive vet bill. So we just put in our information boards so that our guests can learn about our pigs. I know someone in the comments going to be like, "They're not pigs. Stop calling them pigs." I don't care. That name is ridiculous to pronounce. So you're gonna have to cope with me calling them pigs. So yeah, that's my bat caves and my pigs enclosures sorted out. So now, like it's just planning for the next episode what I'm gonna put there and put over here. So let's go ahead and I went ahead then to go and check on my peacocks. Opened a zoo because now we've got a couple of animals in. People are going to be coming in and spending some money. And as you can see, people are already pleased to see the peacocks. Or Indian peafowls. So yeah, this is again me deciding on whether I open those gates or not. But I didn't do it. So yeah, we went ahead and checked on our Komodos. The guests seem to like them. So yeah, things like this, especially for like Komodo dragons, yeah, I can agree with. The rubbing posts, I can agree with. But the things like made of plastic or rubber, I think they should remove them from the reptile category. I mean, you can use the balls and the stuff like that for tortoise, because the tortoise ain't really gonna eat them. But crocodiles and lizards, they're gonna give her a good go. So yeah, by here I found out that there's too many plants in the enclosure of the Komodo dragon. I was not happy whatsoever. So yeah, this is going to be the end of the episode. Thanks very much for hanging out at the zoo with me. If you enjoyed the tour, please be sure to like, subscribe, and share your favorite animal in the comments. But at this moment, the park is closing. But I will see you when the doors reopen next week. Thank you for joining.